give you back 6 weeks a year once you do all the things that it outlines in the program.
Hello and welcome to Meet the Coach. I'm your host, Carla, Egan, and today we're talking about what every business owner wants, and that's how to make more money and increase productivity. Our guest today is Robert Bonifacio from Robert Bonifacio Coaching. Now, Robert is passionate about helping business owners, particularly those that are juggling too many things. He combines his extensive financial planning background and knowledge with his coaching experience to help business owners get more time back in their life so they can achieve their personal and professional goals. Robert's based in Melbourne, Australia, and joins me today. Hi, Robert. Welcome, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Carla. How are you?
Yeah, really well. Great to have you on board. Now,
Thank you.
Our theme today, you're welcome. Now, our theme today, Robert, is centered around optimizing business performance, and I'm really keen to jump into this topic with you. But before we do that, could I ask you to share your experience in financial services and what led you into coaching and starting your own business?
Thanks. I started in financial services in about 1986 and spent some time learning the art of financial planning way back then. And then I went into corporate life and spent 15 years in corporate life, and then started my own financial services business in 2004, and then sold that in 2016. And from there, I then decided that I would venture down the path of coaching and mentoring, using the knowledge and experience I'd gained over the years in both corporate life and in my own business, and help other business owners optimize their time and success better.
Fabulous. So you've got 25 years experience, over 25 years experience.
Yes. Well, in fact, I think if my maths is right, it's probably closer to 30 years or 35 years. Is that right? 86 to...
Oh, 86, yes.
86. Did I? Yeah, that's right.
Have I just
86.
aged you?
You did, yes. Wisdom, I call it. It's all about wisdom.
It's a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of wisdom to share.
Yes.
Now, your business focuses on boosting productivity and effectiveness. And look, I'm interested to see, how do you measure performance in that? Can you talk us through how you might do that, and maybe what tools you use?
One of the things that I did was I wanted to have something to be able to measure where people are today. So as part of productivity and effectiveness, I know there are, in my eyes, 5 key fundamentals that you need to get right. So as part of that process, I created what I call my business optimization matrix. So it's a tool that asks a series of questions to find out essentially where you are today, along what I call the business success line. So most business owners want to achieve a level of success, but you need to find out where you are today. So I created a matrix. It's a series of questions that looks at both your productivity fundamentals and your effectiveness fundamentals, and it looks at it from 2 perspectives, from a personal perspective and then from a business perspective, and it plots you on a grid so that you know where you are today. And from there, we can determine where you want to go, and it helps hone the areas that need some attention, the areas that you're doing really well in, and the areas that will need some attention to help you get further along the line to optimizing your success. So I created the tool.
I love that. So you've created a tool based on all of your experience, and I love that, a business optimization matrix.
Yes.
Fabulous. And so the 5 key fundamentals are covered as part of that matrix tool, so you can identify where the gaps are and where the opportunities are to optimize performance.
That's 100% right. Yeah. So we need to know where the starting point is. Where are you today? We all need to that starting point, and then the matrix, exactly as you put it, finds the gaps. It also identifies what you're doing really well, because sometimes we take for granted what we're doing well. Let's not lose that focus of what we're doing well, and let's find the areas that we can improve on without losing where we are today.
I love that. I really do, because every business owner wants to make more money and increase their productivity, because
Yes.
time is money, right? Now, you offer a 30-day program that focuses specifically on that. So can we do a deeper dive and just share what the program covers and what results people can perhaps expect working with you, Robert?
So the program focuses on the key fundamentals, what I call the foundation pieces or the building blocks that every business needs to have. And that starts with a stake in the ground, which to me is clarity about where you are and what your objectives are. We all need that clarity. It then helps to identify the priorities that you need to have to achieve those, which is where you need to focus your time, which then links to how you manage your time or your time management. And one of the biggest distractions people have is distractions and procrastination. So it helps to refine where that focus needs to be. It looks at the place that habits and routines have in helping us to save time. And then it also looks at the other key fundamental, which is how we need to continually work on our mindset to make sure that we have the right attitudes and beliefs to get to where we need to go. So it looks at those key 5 fundamentals. And the program it's a 4-module program that looks at each of those fundamentals and works through the things you need to identify so that you can continue to move forward. There's a series of questions, some explanation on what each of them requires from you. And then we work with you on a one-on-one basis. At the moment, I'm doing that, offering that program with time with me rather than as an online program so that you can get the best result. And at the end of the day, what we're looking for people to do, the result will be you will save about 6 weeks a year by going through the program and doing what it talks about, because it helps you to establish a clear pathway to move forward. You learn how to schedule your time. You identify the tasks because you need to focus most of your attention. Helps you to control the things that you can control, and then helps you to create a balance between your work and life, because that's important as well, and achieve the outcomes you need to increase the certainty you have about what you need to do. So the program runs over a month. It's 4 modules, and it will give you back 6 weeks a year once you do all the things that it outlines in the program.
That's a pretty big promise, isn't it?
Yep.
Saving 6 weeks based on a 30-day program working
Correct.
with you.
Yes.
That's amazing. I can see how your coaching starts to interweave with your financial experience and your knowledge, because mindset's an important part of that transition into becoming a business owner and scaling your business as well. With your program, Robert, what's one thing that your clients achieved that you didn't expect would happen?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure whether it's anything I didn't expect, but it's maybe some of the things that clients didn't expect, because the thing that comes up consistently is the thing that they achieve is the clarity they need about a number of different things, where they're going and what they need to do and how they need to do it. But the thing that I suppose they realize is part of that solution comes by being able to verbalize what's in their mind. So sometimes people have things going around in their mind, and that's where it stays. So it gets a bit confusing, and the clarity comes partly sometimes in writing it down, but a lot of that clarity comes from being able to verbalize the things that they've been mulling around for a long time. So I think that's probably the one thing that clients get out of it, is the fact that they've got clarity, and the verbalization helps that.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, let's talk about your clients. Because you have a unique approach to for business owners, supporting business owners, and to increase that productivity and save time. What type of clients do you tend to work with and attract?
Thank you. That's a really good question. But because of my background, being having spent 30 years in the financial services industry, I tend to work a lot with those that offer professional services. So that's a large percentage of my clientele. So those in financial services, those in allied health, mortgage brokers, accountants, bookkeepers and legal professionals seem to be a large percentage of the clients that I've worked with. But I also find the things that I talk about crosses over most businesses. So I've worked with businesses also in the building industry, photography, IT, and even the building industry because, and the fitness industry, because the fundamentals cross over most of the businesses I've come across today. It's not unique to any one business.
Thanks for sharing that. So you've got quite a broad background across different sectors, which is wonderful. Let me ask you, as a coach yourself, have you experienced coaching? Do you have a coach, Robert?
I do have a coach, and in my lifetime, I suppose I can use that term, I have had a number of different coaches at different times, some of them to deal with business related things, which is what I've had at the moment also. And I've had, 3 or 4 coaches over my time on different aspects of my business, but also what I would call personal coaches to deal with things in my personal life as well. So
what's something that coaching, a lesson perhaps has taught you that you think that everyone should learn at some point in their life or in their career?
Look, I don't think that I'm unique in what I have learned in relation to coaching, but what coaching has taught me is that it's about doing things consistently. Kaizen, which is the Japanese term for changing for the better. It's about the continuous improvements. And what I know is there are very few what I would call light bulb moments, but what there are is the small things that over a period of time, in fact, what I call the 1%ers that cumulatively make a difference and have a compound effect on your results. So it's about doing things regularly and consistently that will make a big difference over time, is what I have learned.
You talk about the 1%ers making that difference. So let's just backtrack a bit, because we've got a lot of business owners that are working from home, and there's a lot of distractions at home that can get in the way, that can affect your productivity or where you spend your mind, or where you spend your time, because you are getting distracted. So in terms of business owners, how can these business owners that may be listening or watching our interview series, how can they maintain their focus and increase productivity from working from home?
Distractions are a tough one for everyone. I haven't met anyone who hasn't had distractions at different times. And I think it starts with, especially at the moment, is firstly being aware of when a distraction is happening, and then looking at, okay, how can I remove or minimize this? Because there are essentially 2 types of key distractions that business owners need to face. One of them is our personal distractions. So that might be, we check a phone, or we look out the window, or we walk to the fridge, or whatever it might be. They're personal distractions. And then there are business distractions. Now that might be the phone rings, or a colleague needs your attention, or a client needs some attention. So it's being able to be aware of when they're happening and look at ways to either remove or minimize those. And the other key to helping combat distractions is to know what your priorities are, because if we know what we need to get done, then that helps us to focus our attention. And if we then allocate time, if we can work in blocks of time, one of the things that I've found a lot of people will find helpful during this time is if I can create a block of time where the people around me or myself know that for the next half hour or 45 minutes, I'm just not going to answer the phone. I'm just going to allocate the time to do this task. Then that can be helpful as well. So I think it's a combination of things depending on your environment and what you're doing that are going to help you to minimize distractions, from allocating time, being focused, having priorities, and being aware of the things that distract you. And then I always like to remind people is, okay, yesterday might have been a bad day. So how do I make today better than yesterday? What are I go back to those small 1%ers that cumulatively make a difference, and minimizing and managing distractions is part of that.
I see how this ties in really nicely with your matrix and the modules that you talk about in getting real clarity on what you're doing and the focus, like the blocking out that time's important for key tasks to keep you on track and to maintain momentum in business, particularly if you're a sole trader and you do work from home. You need to have that momentum.
Yes.
So let me ask you, Robert, what's motivating you in your business right now?
Look, I love working with business owners, and at the end of the day, it's making sure that I can have a positive impact on them and their business, and making sure that they get their balance of work and life correct, because I think sometimes that balance is out of whack, and it's remembering what's important to us in life. And I know for a lot of people in business, being profitable is a key element. And I think my role is to help them get that balance right so that I can have a positive impact and they can have essentially an enriched life as well, and enjoy the things that are really important to them. I think that's one of the keys as well. I love business. I love business owners. I love having an impact and getting the results that they need. That's what's important to me.
Thank you. That comes through in your interview and your passion for creating your own model, your own matrix, to help make that transition a lot easier for business owners. So, thanks for, diving deeper into that, because there's a lot of business owners that don't have the structure or the clarity that they need to work on their business as well as within their business.
Yes.
It sounds like you're a lifelong learner, like many of us are in the coaching industry. So if you could learn one new personal skill, Robert, what would that be?
That's a good question. There's probably two things that jump out at me. Firstly is my background is my parents were born and raised in Italy, and I was born here. And my Italian is quite poor. In fact, since my grandmother passed away many years ago, my Italian has gone downhill really fast. So while I have a background and a little bit of an understanding, I think I would really love to, I would say, learn a second language or refine my second language, which is Italian. And on the side of that, I really would love to learn ballroom dancing, because I have two left feet. And I just like the concept of ballroom dancing. So if I could learn a second language and ballroom dance at the same time, that would be fantastic.
I love that. And look, you're never too old to learn those things.
Exactly. Yes,
you can still do it if you want.
Yes. Yes.
Look, Robert, you're one of the founding members of the Coaching Directory, and it's wonderful to have you on the directory. What does joining the Coaching Directory mean to you and your business?
Well, firstly, thank you for the opportunity of being part of the directory. I think it's important to be associated with like-minded people, in this case, coaches and business owners. And at the end of the day, it's about wanting to help others and being part of a group that adds value to the greater community and adds value to me, and that I can add value to as well. And the opportunity to collaborate and create opportunities that benefit everyone. Because at the end of the day, I love the concept of win-win. Stephen Covey, habit number 4 is seek win-win. And I think being part of the Coaching Directory helps create a win-win for everyone.
And it's wonderful to have you on board as well, Robert. We appreciate someone at your level and your level of experience and professionalism that you bring to coaching and to your clients.
Thanks. Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of this interview. Thanks, Robert, for joining us on Meet the Coach and sharing your details and your approach to optimizing business performance. It's a real pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much for having me. I've enjoyed being here and look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure. And as always, thank you to those of you that are following our Meet the Coach series. If you enjoy our series, please rate and review us, and make sure you visit and check out the profile of Robert on Robert Bonifacio Coaching on the Coaching Directory. I'm Carla Egan, your host of this series, where we make it easier for you to connect to your ideal coach.